Hello and welcome to this guide for how to collect hard drives in Satisfactory. So we've come up with a technique that essentially in about 4 or 5 hours has taken us all over the world. So these sort of pale ones or opaque ones, anyway, the ones that sort of look collected are in fact collected. So we actually went all the way around here, and within about 4 hours we collected all of these hard drives. So we currently have like 43 of them in our inventory, and the rest have already been scanned on the way. So I'll show you that technique as well. So yeah, it's a pretty efficient way of getting around, and we only needed a fairly small amount of material to actually do it. And I'll talk you through what material we need. We have these two left, and I'll show you how I collect these two as a part of this guide. So yeah, the first thing that you might want to do is take a note of this URL, and you can sort of enable all the hard drives or the job pods here, and then it tells you where all of them are on the map, and these sort of blue circles are sort of spawn locations to help you orient yourself. Okay, then the other thing that you want to do is actually hover over these hard drives that you're trying to collect and just see what requirement they have. So both of these have modular frame requirements. There's a huge variety of different things that they require. So some of the common things are rotors, encased industrial beams. We saw a lot of motors. We saw some stators and so on. Some of them don't have any requirements. And others just have power requirements. Which is actually quite handy because we will actually be drawing power all over the map to be able to do this. So yeah, so that's sort of one of the first things, is that you want to just check sort of what area you want to cover and what kind of materials you will need. And just put that together in a big old list here. You can see some of the materials that we collected. These are not all of them. I deleted some of them. So yeah, case industrial beam, circuit board, rubber, motor, crystal oscillators. These are pretty common, supercomputers, turbo motors, so yeah, those sorts of things. Right, then next what you want to do is actually have the hover pack unlocked. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to follow this guide, sorry. And then you also want to put together basically around 400 power poles and 1,000 power line. So overall it probably took me 1,000 power poles and 2,000 power lines or something like that to do all of it. So I did it in a few batches. So yeah, that'll be important for us to be able to sort of draw power all over the map so that we can keep using the hover pack. And that's actually a really good way to climb up and down these sorts of big tall things as well. And I'll cut in a little bit of footage of me doing that right now. But basically what you want to do is use some foundations and then at sort of locations where you can put your power onto the side of the cliff, and then you can sort of hover up and down those cliffs. Right. So the other thing that you actually want to put into your inventory then is a few foundations. I took around 200. I hardly used any foundations, so you don't need a lot of foundations. And I think that's about it. So you want to make sure you have all of the materials that you need to unlock them, all the crash sites, and yeah, then you really don't need anything else. I did think about using the Explorer, but as soon as you have to go vertical or anything like that, the Explorer, you can forget about it. It's nice because it has a bit of storage on it, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty pointless. Oh, the other thing that you also want to actually take is this MAM, and then let's say once the MAM has finished researching, just sort of waiting for autosave here. What you want to do is whenever you get a notification that a hard drive scan is finished, so you can see we have one going at the moment, we should see one finish as we are going, and you just want to put a MAM down, pick your recipe, and then move on. Then you can sort of clean it up again, and then you have all the material that you need. So for us, we just need a few modular frames for these two. Now you might say, oh, you haven't collected these. I don't have the material for that. Superposition oscillators and quantum computers, I think it's related to the Fixmas event, and I didn't really do anything with that, so don't have the materials, but it's okay. As long as you sort of collect all of the hard drives that you can with just sort of the basic or the non-special materials, you'll actually be able to unlock all of the recipes, I believe. So yeah, so once you have all of the materials in your inventory, you kind of want to like figure out sort of where you are. So we are currently somewhere around here, and our target is going to be this one here. So we have to go south west to get to this thing. The other kind of equipment that you might want to have is this object scanner, which makes it easy for us to, you know, if we're a little bit lost, to locate the drop pod. So we're going to be going southwest. Now, one of the good techniques here is that you can actually usually hover above this mess and not get affected by the gas. So yeah, you just need to be sort of high enough, and then it's all good. So let's keep going, and we'll probably sort of cut. So yeah, what you want to do here is just keep putting down these power lines, right? And you want to try and space them out, so as you are just about to fall, you sort of place the next one down. And yeah, every now and then you will find some of these power slugs, which are very handy. So I have a feel, yeah, and you can ignore some of the enemies. Other enemies you really have to take care with and actually kill them. Okay, so I have a feeling that we're getting close to the crash site. Right, so I found it easily over there, but let's say that you're having some difficulty. You can get the object scanner out and actually switch to crash site, and then it'll tell you like it's in that direction, right? So that's pretty easy. Now, a lot of these crash sites actually require power. This one doesn't, but you know, I usually just connect it because some of them do and some of them don't. And then you just need to make sure you have all of the material, open it up and take it out, right? And then from here, we usually disconnect the power and then just look at for the next one. So this next one, we essentially need to follow this sort of cliffside here and then go straight west once we sort of get to this area. There's some waterfalls here, so it's going to be pretty easy to figure out that we're here. So let's make our way over there. And I might sort of cut this part out for you so you don't get bored. So I'll see you when we are actually at the location. Okay, we've just made it to this next crash site, and again, you know, I usually just connect the power in. Now you always want to make sure that as you approach it, you get your gun out, because the enemies actually spawn in late. So like you could already be here and then suddenly you have a whole bunch of enemies spawn in front of you and then you get shot and then you're dead. So you want to approach things carefully. So yeah, we grab this. And as you can see, the MAM just finished there, so we just put it down wherever, it doesn't really matter, and then it tells us the different options. So we're going to pick the turbo fuel here, and then we just scan the next hard drive, and then we can destroy this again. So yeah, that's how we ended up collecting like every single hard drive in the world. If I re-uploaded my save file, it would reflect that I've also collected these two. So now we have, I think, around 100 or so hard drives, so we're going to be able to unlock all of the alternate recipes. And some of the alternate recipes are actually really good. So we'll base some of our production lines on those new recipes. So yeah, in summary, use the hover pack in combination with drawing these power lines all over the place, and then you can just hover your way all the way around the world. These are essentially highways for you to follow with the hover pack, and the hover pack moves pretty quick. And yeah, you always want to try and just avoid enemies. The other thing to keep in mind is that you actually want to bring a lot of bullets, because you will have to fight a lot of enemies. Like you can see, I have about 1,000 bullets in my inventory. I probably used about 2,000 bullets altogether, maybe a little bit less. So yeah, be sure to grab plenty of those. And I didn't need to use the obelisk at any stage, but that's always handy to bring, because sometimes you find like power slugs that are inside of boulders or something like that. So yeah, that's this guide. So with this sort of technique, you'll be able to collect all of the hard drives that you can possibly want. In fact, all of the ones on the map you'll be able to collect quite easily within about sort of 4 hours or so is how long it took us. We already had, within those 4 hours, we already had like some of them collected. So maybe in total, if you start with nothing collected, it might take you sort of 6 hours, maybe 5 to 6 hours. But yeah, then you'll be able to enjoy all of the other recipes. So thank you for watching, and until next time.